What the deuce is going on with you? I had a WhatsApp message from Mom. She was complaining that you hadn't made her lunch yet. I told you, if you didn't do right by my parents, we'd get a divorce. You watching TV again? Get your butt off that sofa and into the darn kitchen.
Mickey, it's not even 12 o'clock yet. I'm doing the best I can. You know that as well as your mom. I'm caring for 4 elderly people single-handedly. That's a lot of work for one person. And I'm not watching TV. I'm busy helping your grandma in the bathroom.
You better be. I got my spies. They're all my relatives. It's only natural that my wife should take care of them. You don't have any other work to do. Quit whining like a pig and get on with making their lunch.
I'll do your mom's lunch just as soon as I finish assisting your grandma and grandpa with their meals.
Do them all at the same time, why don't you?
That's not possible.
Why not?
I have to help each one individually. I have to spoon-feed Grandma Dorothy. If I don't, she won't eat anything. Aunt Jean throws her plates around the table, so I gotta take extra care of her.
You got 2 hands, right? You can spoon-feed Grandma with the left while fielding Aunt Jean's plates with the right.
Aunt Josephine thinks she's a lady, and she rants and raves if I don't play the part of her maid and speak to her in French. Grandpa Tom is fickle with his food. He won't eat any green vegetables, and if I serve him mashed potatoes, he complains and says he wants chips. But if I give him chips, he wants mashed potatoes! I can't win! He makes such a terrible fuss.
Put on a maid outfit and dance the flamenco.
Don't be ridiculous.
If that's the case, why don't you serve Mom first?
She told me that she won't eat until the older ones have finished.
She's a fine woman. You should learn from her. She is the authority on caring for the family.
If you're going to say that, why don't you tell her to help me a little instead of sitting in front of the TV shouting orders at me and texting you when she can't get my attention?
There's no way I'm telling her that.
It's not realistic to expect one person to care for 4 very demanding elderly people. It's only been 6 months and I'm worn out. I'm covered with bruises, the skin on my hands is calloused and dry, and my hair is falling out.
You sound like a spoiled brat. You're a housewife. For God's sake, act like one.
Your mother is a housewife too. There is no difference between us.
My mother has been a fantastic housewife for 30 years. She can retire now and enjoy the rest of her life.
And for her to do that, I must sacrifice my body and mind, right?
Of course. That's how it works on this side of the country. You got your cross, now bear it, woman.
You're a vile man.
You didn't think I was in love with you, did you?
I did think we were in love. Until this happened.
That's not what this marriage is about. I married you because my daddy loved to have a big family and he didn't want my grandparents and 2 aunts shut away in some godforsaken care home. So I had to look for a wife to take care of them, right? It don't matter how much money my old man makes in his business. Any ordinary woman would run a mile if I brought her home to a house with 3 elderly relatives needing care.
So you found someone you could exploit.
I ain't exploiting you.
I can't run from you and you know it. You've got me trapped.
I spent a long time looking before I found you. I wanted to find a woman who'd never run away, no matter how I treated her.
You exploited my situation with my family. My poor sister needs treatment for an incurable disease, and the only place she can get it is in Europe. You knew I had money troubles. I was the perfect match for you, right?
Why are you acting like the victim in all this? You were the one who married me because you craved the money.
I didn't crave it. I needed it for my sister. And anyway, it wasn't until after we married that you offered to pay the fees for her treatment. I didn't marry you for your money. I loved you.
So now you know the truth. Why don't you divorce me? Go on. Off you go.
My little sister is only 10 years old. You know I can't take away her happiness when she's on the verge of getting this life-saving surgery.
You've got a lot of nerve to think you can talk to me like that. Maybe I'll divorce you.
I'm sorry. I spoke out of line.
One more word from you and your sister's surgery will be in the can. Think about what you're saying, wife.
I'll keep my mouth shut in the future.
Now you know your place. Get on your knees and serve my mom her lunch.
Yes.
Then when you've done that, my dad says his toenails are getting long. Get your lilies to his office and take him a nail clipper, will you?
Doesn't he have one there?
He likes the one he uses at home.
What about your great-grandparents? And the 2 aunties? I can't leave them.
Take them all with you.
That's a bit of an ask.
Divorce!
Don't keep threatening me with divorce. I'll take it to him after lunch.
My father is in high spirits. Please don't bring him down.
I will be as considerate as possible.
You will be a good servant to my family.
My name is Cindy. I am 23 years old. My younger sister is 10 years old. She was diagnosed with cancer when she was 5. She needs a heart transplant due to heart failure caused by the cancer drugs. The surgery would have to be carried out overseas, and it costs a fortune. My parents worked tirelessly without sleep to pay for the treatment. However, 3 years ago, my father was taken ill suddenly and died. After that, my mother fell ill and was repeatedly in and out of the hospital. Even so, she continued to work. After graduating high school, I got a job and started working like a dog to help pay the bills and save for my sister's treatment. Amidst all this, I met my husband Mickey 2 years ago. He made a move on me and pursued me with passionate vigor. Then, 6 months ago, we got married. It was never about the money. I didn't find out about his father being a successful business owner until after we married. Soon after we married, Mickey approached my father-in-law to ask him for help to pay my sister's medical bills. My father-in-law took care of the fees for her treatment. I couldn't thank him enough for helping my sister. But after I told my sister about my father-in-law paying her medical bills, and just when I couldn't run away, my husband's attitude drastically changed and he forced me to move in with my in-laws. My father-in-law moved his parents and 2 older sisters out of the care home and brought them back to the house. They forced me to care for them. I had no choice but to comply. I couldn't dash my little sister's hopes of having her long-awaited surgery in Europe. Their cruelty towards me is getting more and more extreme. Sometimes they can be brutal.
I am disappointed in you.
I am so sorry, Mr. Smithers-Jones.
Are you answering me back?
No, of course not. I'm really sorry.
What the deuce were you doing, bringing my relatives to the office and causing such a scene? How dare you let them run amok like that?
I didn't do it on purpose.
I had important guests today. You made me the laughingstock. You are an embarrassment to this family.
What should I do with 4 elderly people with dementia who can't control themselves?
So, it's my family's fault now, is it? Are you blaming them?
No, I don't think that at all. All I am saying is that I cannot control 4 people on my own.
It's your job to do that.
My hands are full. I'm doing the best I can. I've reached my limit.
What useless piece of trailer trash has my boy picked up for a wife?
I'm sorry to be a disappointment to you. I'll make an effort to improve in the future.
That won't be necessary. You make 0 contribution to this family. Pack your bags and leave. I want you out by tomorrow morning.
Please don't tell me to leave. I'll do it right from now on.
And you can forget about the money for your sister.
You can't do that. You promised.
It's your fault. You didn't keep your side of the bargain. You couldn't help your sister. The poor thing.
Please, give me one last chance. I promise I won't disappoint you anymore. I'll do anything.
You really want the money that much?
I want to help my sister. She's been suffering from cancer for a long time and her heart is failing. She was crying and saying that she wanted to give up. She said she wanted to die. We finally saw the glimmer of hope she needed. Please don't take it away now.
If you're not worthy, all your hopes will be dashed.
I promise I'll pay you back every penny. I'll work a night shift at the local shopping mart stacking shelves. I have a friend there. She says they're desperate for help. I'll continue caring for your relatives during the day.
If you are willing to do that, I might just consider it.
Really?
Yeah, why not? During the day, you'll care for my relatives as you have been. Then at night, you'll work at the shopping mart stacking shelves.
Yes.
I'll also be bringing 3 of my wife's siblings in for you to care for.
3 more?
Their own families were caring for them, but they said it was too much for them.
You're telling me that I must care for 7 elderly people at the same time?
What? You've got a complaint?
No, I'll do it.
You are a servant of this family, and I will work you to the bone. I had a text from Mom telling me you haven't served her lunch yet. What's the big idea?
She is well enough to make her own lunch.
Who do you think you are talking to like that? Get on and do it for her, stupid wife.
No.
You ain't got no right to refuse.
Whatever you say to me won't make any difference. It is physically impossible. I'm not there. I'm at home with my mom and dad.
You haven't run out on us.
Looks like it.
You know what this means. That's the end of the support for your little sister.
Fine.
Abandoning your sister out of your own self-pity. You are the worst sister I've ever seen.
What do you want me to say?
Are you sure about this? Don't come crying and begging me to come back later. It ain't happening.
I'm not going to. I don't care anymore. I am cutting the contract I made with your father-in-law. I'll no longer be caring for your relatives.
What?
My father told me to.
Did you lose your mind caring for 7 people and doing a night shift? Your old dad's already pushing up daisies.
My mother's second husband.
Oh.
You've heard of Robinson's Manufacturing, I suppose.
They're my old man's company's biggest client.
My mother's new husband and my new father is the president of that company.
You can't face reality, can you? You're stupid and delusional now.
Why do you say that?
Your old lady is always in and out of the hospital. She's just an old cow who works in a factory. If you think she'd ever get a chance to meet a company president, you are one sandwich short of a picnic.
About a year ago, when I was visiting my sister in the hospital, I helped a man to find the orthopedist's office. The man I showed the way became my father.
You showed a guy the way and he married your mother? I'll break out the popcorn. You spin me a yarn.
He was always getting lost. I helped him a number of times. He was very chatty, and after a while, he became friendly with my mom. They had a lot of common interests. One day, he asked her to lunch in the hospital canteen, and before I knew it, they were dating.
You really have lost your mind to think up that little setup.
He told me that today he is willing to go to your father's company to terminate their contract. When that happens, you'll find out if this is true or not.
Hang on. My old man is on the phone.
Speak of the devil. What did he say?
I've just put him on speakerphone. He's in such a frenzy I can't understand a word he's saying.
Listen carefully.
I don't believe it.
Did you get it?
He had a call from Robinson's Manufacturing. They are terminating the contract.
Now you know that I was telling the truth.
How could this happen to us?
In a sense, it was down to you and your father that my mom and Mr. Robinson decided to marry.
How do you explain that?
He was at your dad's office the day that you told me to take your dad's nail clippers to him.
He said that he was with an important client.
He noticed me. He thought I was someone else at first. I looked so old.
How did he find out it was you?
He mentioned it to my mom and she recognized the name of the company. They realized it was me.
For real?
When my mother told him about my sister's cancer and that I was sacrificing everything for her, he proposed to her.
Why would he propose because of that?
He said he'd pay for the treatment and everything. He said he wanted to marry her and save her 2 daughters, and we could all live happily ever after.
Fairy tales like that don't happen in real life.
They do, you know. As soon as my mother accepted, he transferred $300,000 into her account to pay for my sister.
What a big man.
He's my mother's Prince Charming. Totally different from the crooked lot in your family.
Your family is the crooked one. Your old lady and you are cut from the same cloth. You both married for money.
She accepted his proposal but refused the money. But he said that if she didn't take it, he would leave and never come back.
Darn it! That guy is cool.
I didn't know anything about it until my mom called me a week ago. I packed my things and left. I arrived home a short while ago.
Wasn't it enough just to divorce me? Why did he have to go and terminate the contract?
He said he could not forgive the way you treated his daughter.
He's not even your real old man. He just appeared like some genie out of nowhere.
I haven't known him for long, but for me, he is a fine parent.
You're only saying that because he gave you all that cash. You money-grabbing cow.
You can say whatever you want. We don't care what other people think. We will live as a family, like real parents and children.
Darn you!
He will not only terminate the contract with your father's company, but all those affiliated with his family who forced me to care for them.
If he does that, he'll go out of business.
Even if they do, you'd still have to pay me the alimony you owe me.
Alimony?
Do you think I haven't collected any evidence of all the torment, provocation, and baiting I've been subjected to?
Evidence?
Why do you think I hung around for a week after my mom contacted me? I wasn't there because I wanted to be.
You were gathering evidence?
My father advised me to. I have recorded the constant barrage of insulting language and cruelty that you subjected me to.
Oh no. I've sent you a heap of messages just in the last week.
I've got photos of the bruises and cuts left on my body, too. I also have 2 weeks of WhatsApp chat history. That should be enough evidence.
What am I gonna do?
And your relatives. Just because they have dementia doesn't mean they have bad intentions. I couldn't just leave them.
You went off and left them now.
You and your old man can look after them for a while. I prepared and froze a large amount of food, and there is a large assortment of nursing supplies.
If you had time to do that, you have time to care for them.
If you have time to rant and rage at me like this, you have time to care for them. And while you're at it, get my money ready.
Do you think I can pay you anything when my old man's business is going down the pan?
Go and work a night shift at the local shopping mart. I hear they're crying out for staff. I'm not sure you have the skills to stack shelves, though. You may need extra training before they can pay you the full hourly rate.
I'll bet you're gonna start spreading vicious rumors about us, right? We'll be publicly humiliated.
I doubt it. Anyway, you need to go care for your relatives.
Oh, yes.
The bits and pieces I prepared for you won't last long. You'll need to go shopping and cook and freeze more food for them. There are 7 of them. I hope you can manage it.
I don't know.
Right now, your mother is caring for them alone.
Oh my. I just had a message from my old lady. She's as mad as the devil possessed. I was so busy with you I didn't notice.
I'm sure your elderly relatives are trolling around the house, kicking up a dust storm.
I'll have to get them sent back to the care home.
I don't think it will be as easy as that.
What do you mean?
Most of the care homes in that area are full or bursting at the seams. Places are scarce in the district. As soon as one patient leaves, another jumps in their place. I heard there is quite a queue from here to Timbuktu. There are no 2 ways about it. It will be impossible to find 7 places for 7 people.
I don't believe it.
And it's not cheap. With the state that your father's business is in, I wonder if you'll be able to afford it.
My bad. I'm sorry.
What?
From now on, I will respect you as my wife. I'll get my parents to change their attitude towards you. So please come back.
Do you think I am stupid enough to be taken in and fooled by your sweet talk again?
This time it's the truth. Believe me.
I refuse. Send them out to live on the streets.
Life on the street with my family and 7 elderly people in tow. It would be hell.
I said all those things to Mickey, but I couldn't let that happen to 7 elderly people who had committed no crime. I had already arranged a place for them at a very nice care home on the other side of town. The bill will be charged to Mickey and his father. It is expensive and they could refuse, but there were no other options at such short notice. Mickey and his father have to work day and night to stop the company from going bankrupt. They didn't have time to care for their elderly relatives at home, so they took out a loan to put them into the care home. However, it wasn't worth the effort. The family business went bankrupt. Mickey and his parents are caring for the elderly relatives, and they work all night long in the local shopping mart, stacking shelves to make ends meet. With all this going on in their lives, I went through my lawyer, divorced Mickey, and demanded alimony for the trouble they had put me through. I am now in Europe with my family. My little sister's surgery went well, and we are all excited about the bright future ahead of us. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please press the like button. Don't forget to leave a comment below. See you next time.
Hey, are you there?
Wow, what a special occasion this is. You don't usually contact me first. Is there something special going on? How have you been? It's been a long time since I last saw you. Are you still living down south? How are things down there? Hotter, I bet. I hope you're doing well.
I thought I'd just say hi to you since we haven't spoken in so long. I know that you're still not married and you're still living at home with Mother. Doesn't it get boring? Don't you want to move out?
Are you suggesting there is something wrong with the life I'm living? It's just not the right time for me to move out yet. I'll probably do that after I get married. In the meantime, I can stay here, save money, and look after Mother at the same time. It's a win-win situation. You haven't spoken to me for 3 years, and then this is how you greet me? You just contact me to start criticizing? Couldn't you say something nice to me?
Well, you are over 30 years old. What did you expect me to say? I was just curious, that's all. It wasn't meant to be criticism. I just wanted to know your plans. There's no need to get in a bad mood. I was only asking. Is it a sensitive topic? Are you worried that you'll never find a husband and you'll be alone all your life? The longer you wait, the harder it'll be, so why not just get on with it now? I've managed to get out and get somewhere in life. Don't be afraid. You can do it too.
How about you just get off my back? Ever since Dad died 2 years ago, I've been feeling so bad about life. It started off just staying here to look after Mother, but now I think I'm happy with this life. I've had some troubles, so leave me be. I haven't seen you for so long, and now you come back into my life and start giving me advice?
It sucks that he died, but what can we do about it? You just have to say goodbye to people and get on with your life as best as you can. You can't spend the rest of your life in pain thinking about that person. There's no way to bring them back, so you'll just have to move on instead. It's what he would have wanted. You don't get a second chance in life, so you need to make the most of it.
You didn't contact me for 3 years. You're in no position to tell me what to do. You just went wandering off and never came back. We were worried about you. Why did you do that? Who knows what kind of a person you are now? You could have changed so much. How can you talk about your dad as if you just don't care? Think of how much he did for you as a child and now you just don't even care?
Stop making me out to be the bad guy. Hurry up and get out of the house. I'm telling you this as your older brother. You need to leave. Now that Father is gone, I am the oldest man in the house. You should respect my opinion.
Things have been going fine for me living here. Why should I leave just because you're telling me to? Mother is happy with me living here, so why do I need to change?
Everyone else your age has moved out and got on with their lives. Why can't you? Is there something wrong with you? No confidence? Maybe you don't like men. You just want to go through life and never grow up? If I were you, I'd be really embarrassed.
Why don't you just let this go? Do you really have to be like this to me? Why have you suddenly started being like this?
I'm getting married myself, so I've started to become more worried about you. I don't want you to be left behind in life. My girlfriend is already pregnant, so we're getting married as soon as possible. How could I not marry a woman that I got pregnant? It's my duty as a man to look after her and the baby. It's going to be really hard for us. We don't have that much money. The rent is really expensive, and the stuff for the baby is only going to add to our worries. But what else can I do? I just have to get on with it. I haven't even mentioned childcare, if we end up paying for that. I thought that maybe we could move back in with Mother. It would really help us a lot. But there is one problem. You're still living there. There wouldn't be enough room, so you need to move out. Although, if you were there, you would be able to look after the baby when we need you to.
I have no problem with you coming back to this house to live in. Why would I? Also, you'll need to discuss this with Mother. Not me. It's her house. Why do I have to leave? I'm sure we could all live here together. There's enough room.
I don't think my wife would want to live in such a way. It would be so crowded, too many people in a small space. It would stress her out. Wouldn't it be better if you got married and then we went to live with them? It would be bad enough for her having to live with her mother-in-law, but sister-in-law too? Oh, it is too much.
I don't think it'll be bad at all. I can maintain a good relationship with your wife. I'm a nice girl, and I'm sure we can get along.
I don't think so. It would be really stressful when you move in together. You'll end up arguing all the time, and it'll just be unbearable.
How can you be sure when we've never even met each other? You're just presuming that things will go wrong when I don't think they will.
Don't you think it'll be really awful living together under one roof? It'll be too crowded. We need the house to live in, and you need to move out. Don't you think that there might be something wrong with you? If you're such a nice girl, then why aren't you married yet? What kind of girl is still single and living at home with her mother at your age? This is something I can't compromise on. You need to leave. The easiest way for this to happen is for you to get married yourself. You can go and live with your new husband and his family, and he can pay for you. Oh, you'd really enjoy it.
Yes, but I'm not married yet, not even close. You talk about this as if it could happen sometime soon, and it can't. What would Mom say anyway? She might not want you to move in here, and she might not want me to move out. I think she likes me living at home. I do a lot to help her out.
Is this your excuse to not move out? You think Mother wants you there? I think Mother would be much happier if I moved back in and you moved out. Especially now that we're expecting a baby, that is more important than you.
Has Mother said that? Has she said she wants me out?
I think that she does. I'm coming home and you're moving out. Is there anything more to talk about? I think Mother would be really happy about this. She'd be singing and dancing at the happy news.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I should go. I know Mother preferred you from a young age. Maybe it would be her dream come true for you to come home with a child of your own. She'd be crying tears of joy. I remember as a child, she would always praise you and criticize me no matter what I did. Even if I did well at something, she was never impressed. It was always you she preferred. But there's one thing you have to promise me. Don't contact me again. I don't care what happens in your life, no matter how good or bad. Don't tell me about it. I don't want to know. Don't think that you can throw someone out like this and then expect them to ever come back. I have done so much to help Mother, and this is how you treat me?
You don't have to be angry like this. I am just trying to be practical about the whole thing. We need a place to live, and you need to go out into the world. We can still stay in touch with each other. We're gonna come and live in that house in a few days. That's our plan. Don't have such a big tantrum about it. Just before you leave, can you please tidy everything up and make sure that you don't take any of my stuff? What is this? Are you trying to play some kind of game? Why have you left the house like this? And where is Mother? Why isn't she here?
She's gone out to do some shopping. She loves you so much that she's gone out to get some things for when you arrive. She's really putting in a big effort to welcome you back. I have no idea why. I've already left. I won't be coming back.
But where has all of the stuff gone? What have you done with it? Where's the sofa and the TV and all the other things? Have you taken them?
What do you mean? I only took my stuff. I left everything that was yours. That's what you asked for, so that's what I did. I took all the stuff I paid for. What could the problem possibly be?
If it's in this house, then it belongs to Mother. Isn't that right? You should have left it here.
No, they belonged to me, and Mother wasn't using them. She doesn't watch TV. She doesn't use the microwave. She lived a simple life, so I bought them for myself. Now that I'm leaving, I'll take them with me. I'll be needing them in my new life. You'll have to buy a whole house of new stuff, but why should I care about that? I work really hard and saved a lot of money to buy those things. I had to be really frugal. I had to make sacrifices. If I paid for them, then why wouldn't I take them? When Mother didn't have any money, she never called you. Do you know why? Because I was there to help her out when she needed it.
Why did Mother need money? What was wrong? I thought that she got an inheritance from Dad when he died. Wasn't that enough? Did you take all the inheritance? Was that the problem?
You think I took it? How dare you say that? You are a disgrace. You're the one who didn't even come to your father's funeral. Why was that? Because you knew you weren't going to get any money from him after he died.
That wasn't the reason. I thought Mother was going to get a lot of money, but I wasn't going to ask for any myself. I knew Dad always worked hard, but I knew he didn't have that much money. He worked steadily for a stable income. He was good to Mother, so I wouldn't dare ask for anything from her. But I thought she'd at least have enough to survive on. Are you saying that Mother has been struggling for cash? Oh, I didn't even know that.
She wasn't starving, but she didn't really have enough to live a happy life. This should have been obvious to you, but maybe it wasn't because you never bothered to contact us. She had to live very frugally to get by. She didn't have enough for any luxuries. That's why I bought so much stuff for the house. She couldn't afford it, so I bought things for the two of us to use. But now I'm being thrown out. It's your job to pay for those things. I'm not going to leave it behind. It's mine, and I'll need it in my new place. If you go looking around the house, you'll see that there's not much stuff there. We had to be really careful with any spending. Life wasn't easy. Whenever I went shopping, I had to buy the cheapest stuff. I had to search around trying to find anything on sale. It was really tough for me and Mother. I think she was sad about it, but she didn't let it show. And where were you during all this time? Nowhere to be seen.
Is this true? You're telling the truth? I really hope you're not exaggerating all of this, because it hurts me to know that Mother was in such a bad situation. How is it possible that you had no money? I'm sure Mother must have got enough when Dad died, and you were working too. It should have been enough to get by.
I helped her a lot, but we still had to struggle. Why do you think I didn't move out? You think I was just at home sponging off my parents? No chance I'd do that. I thought it would be best for me to stay there and look after them until I got married myself. I was so busy with them that I didn't get time to go out and socialize. It's probably why I'm not married. I didn't get to meet anyone. I did it because it's what a child should do for their parents. Dad was sick for years before he died, and I looked after him then. He had high blood pressure and diabetes, and he had to go to hospital a lot. Who do you think paid for the hospital bills? It was me. His insurance didn't cover everything, so I had to step in and help on regular occasions. I often phoned you to see if you could help, but you didn't even answer my calls. You didn't do anything to help us.
I'm sorry about that, but I was busy with my own life. I was trying to make something good happen in my life, and then I met this girl. She's pregnant now, so I have to support her and the child.
You should have done more. Don't you remember all the love your parents gave to you as a child? Don't you remember how they supported you? Didn't you remember that when you chose not to talk to us for all that time? What about all the money they gave you when you were growing up? Couldn't you have returned the favor when they really needed it? It was Dad's dying wish that Mother would be looked after, and the burden was left completely to me. It was hard for me, but I did what any good person would do. Meanwhile, you were just out there living your life without a care in the world. You didn't even bother to contact us and make sure we were all right. Now you've come back and thrown me out of the home I lived in for so long. I was there looking after Mother, and now I've been thrown out? It's only fair that now it's your turn to pay for Mother, not mine. I've done enough. And now it's you who has to step up to the challenge. I only hope that you're capable of it. I don't want you contacting me, begging for me to come back.
Why was it so expensive? What were you spending money on?
The food, the bills, the rent, it was expensive.
What rent? I thought the house was ours.
I tried to tell you about this a long time ago, but I couldn't contact you. When Dad was sick, we were really struggling to pay all the bills. We had no option but to sell the house in order to pay for his medical bills. It was a really painful time for us. Mother and Father had worked all their lives to buy that house. Then they had to sell it to pay for medical bills. I tried to contact you, but you were nowhere to be seen. You didn't make any effort to stay in touch with us. So don't be all shocked now you learned what happened. The money we got from selling the house is paying for the rent now. We have to be careful about spending because what if we run out of money? How would we pay the rent? Do you think you'll be able to manage it? You've already moved back in with your mother because of money problems. How will you pay if something else goes wrong? You're a grown man and you can't even afford to pay for yourself and your child. How are you in any position to look after Mother?
I can look after myself and I can look after Mother. After I move back in, I'll get a better job. I only need to move in with Mother because this pregnancy happened so suddenly. It's just a surprise for us and we were really not ready for it. But in the future, things will be better. But we also need the things that you've taken from the house. Why don't you bring them all back as soon as possible?
No, I'm not going to come back. I've told you several times already, it's my stuff and I'm taking it with me. You came back into our lives and you insisted that I move out. Now you want me to bring all the stuff back because you can't afford any yourself? If I leave the house and you move in, then the duty of caring for Mother passes to you. You have to buy her everything she needs, not me. For the first time in many years, I have freedom and I'm going to take full advantage of that. I don't feel guilty because I've done so much for Mother over the years. It's only right that this burden now falls to you. After all, you're about to become a dad. You should be able to look after yourself. If you can't look after your old mother, how will you be able to look after a baby and a wife? Time to be a real man. Don't contact me again. I don't want anything to do with you. I deleted his contact details and blocked him. There was no way I was going to talk to him again. Why should I? He left us for so many years. Why can't I do the same to him? I moved out and started a new life of freedom, all on my own. Now I get to spend all of my money on myself. I didn't realize this life could be so much fun. I don't have to worry about anything but myself. I feel like a great burden had been lifted from my shoulders. From that day on, I could eat whatever I wanted, sleep whenever I wanted, and go where I wanted to go. I didn't have to spend my life living for others. I could go to the store and buy some nice clothes and jewelry. I could get takeout and sit in front of the TV by myself in the evening. It was the first time in my life I got to experience these basic joys. Let's hope for more and more in the future. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.